Chaotic, and it has changed my life. I'm a fan of his ever since. I love this collection. Of his most legendary supermodels and more. The four queens of the runway. Fashion, New York Fashion Week is right around the corner. Librarian tonight, and that's because I came to read a bitch. Jaja's Atelier, bitch. Welcome back, guys, to a brand new episode of Jaja's Atelier. Listen, I'm keeping it light this episode. No politics. I did, however, touch on that spectacle in front of the White House with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the Teslas. If you want to check out what I said, it's on my Instagram. It has a limited warning on it. I thought we were all about free speech. But yeah, if you want to see what I said about that, check it out on my Instagram. But today I want to keep it light, and it's so many moving parts going on in fashion. And we also have to wrap up my last couple of eye-catching shows of Paris Fashion Week. You know, Paris Fashion Week has been done. It's been about a week now, almost going into a week. So we have all the notes. We have all the insider information and all the tea, which it really wasn't that much. But so I want to start with Alessandro Michele's third runway show for Valentino during Paris Fashion Week. I was not expecting this. I touched on it a little bit the last episode. I wasn't expecting this. Overall, I really did enjoy the collection. I love the set. He said in an interview with, I believe, WWD, that the collection was about strange yet intimate interactions. And what other strange, intimate interaction can you have other than at a bathroom stall in the middle of a 90s rave nightclub? So I really did enjoy that. And I also thought that the collection was really pared back, which is not something we're used to seeing from Michele. You know, he was the former creative director of Gucci, and honey, we're gonna get to that in a second, don't you worry. He was the former creative director of Gucci, and in his era at Gucci, it was very grandma quirky, make it modern, make it chic with the crazy prints, and you know, just everybody online at the time was calling it the grandma aesthetic. And so to see this collection kind of more pared back and sexy and sensual, mixed with that, you know, classic Valentino glamour that we all love, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so huge congratulations to him. We're also, y'all, honey, let me get my notes together, honey. Honey, we also have to talk about Anthony Vaccarello's collection, latest collection for Yves Saint Laurent. Honey, the running theme this month for fashion, I'm talking about from New York to London to Paris to Milan, was 80s power dressing. And Anthony Vaccarello definitely nailed it. You know, that whole aesthetic of 80s power dressing is kind of built off the back of Saint Laurent himself back in his day when he was designing. You know, a lot of people were wearing Yves Saint Laurent. He set the tone for the wide shoulders. He set the tone for power dressing at that time. So to see it modernized in this way, I really enjoyed. In a interview with BOF, Vaccarello said he wanted this collection to be stripped of all the jewelry, all the high glam, to focus solely on, and I quote, simplicity of silhouette. He told, it was The Guardian. He told The Guardian. Which to me is a simple, nuanced twist on 80s power dressing. And also, I said this during the last show, not centering women's style around the male gaze. I'm feeling it. Again, what do women find sexy? What do women want to wear in their day-to-day? It doesn't always have to be about the attention of the man, which is something I think bio women and trans women, all of us need to kind of stray away from. Do it because you want to. Don't do it because some man was, boinking a girl that had that on. Like, if that's not you, then that's not you. And whatever man is for you, he'll find you no matter what the fuck you got on. Okay? Um, now, let me talk about my favorite look before I get into the tea. This was my favorite look. This leopard look with the wet hair peeled back. There was the bold statement earrings, but nothing else. I loved the slouched waist in most of the looks, because not every woman wants to wear high waisted, not every woman. So he's giving us options the same way Sarah Burton was giving us options. She had something for every girl. I also love these illusion mesh 80s style, 80s silhouette cocktail dresses, which were kind of laser cut so you could see inside. I really thought that these were beautiful. I mean, so huge congratulations to Anthony. Now, let's get to the tea. Now, there have been rumblings all online that this was perhaps Anthony's last show for Yves Saint Laurent. Now, I haven't seen this on any of the major fashion publications, not WWD, not BOF, none of those things, but it was enough people talking about it to make me kind of question it. But listen, Anthony Vaccarello has been with Yves Saint Laurent for years now. I think it's been all over 10 years, maybe? Am I? I'm going to have to look that up and get back to you on that. But it's been a while. He's been there for a while. He's got a whole bunch of celebrity clientele. Zoe Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz. Who else I can't think of it off the top of my head. But there are so many Yves Saint Laurent girls and boys in Hollywood. So I can't see him leaving right now. But hell. And this leads us into our next story. Donatella Versace it's just been announced that Donatella Versace is stepping down from her namesake, legendary iconic fashion house, which was founded by her brother in 1978. I almost shed a tear when I heard this. Nobody but a Versace has been at the helm of Versace since its inception. Now, last episode, I think I talked about it a little bit. The last episode, I can't remember. But I thought that, no, I think we talked about it was rumblings of it happening, but I don't think it was officially announced at the time. Well, now that it's officially announced, I have to fix a clerical error on my part, because I thought everything with Versace was in-house. Well, apparently, the house was acquired for $2.1 billion back in 2018 by Michael Kors Holdings, which is now named Capri Holdings. Well, now the iconic fashion house has been reportedly sold to Prada. I get the feeling that Donatella was kind of pushed out. Now, here's a video of her after her last show in Milan. It's the after party, and she's dancing to Lady Gaga's Donatella! And everybody's congratulating her and hugging her, and it seems like everything is all good, but something about this just doesn't smell right to me. It does kind of feel like she's being pushed out. Now, she does have this new brand ambassador role. I don't want to see Donatella doing anything at Versace than what she's been doing. Now, they say when it comes to the sales, it hasn't really been doing as well as it did in yesteryear. But, it's just there's so many things in fashion that changes constantly. Can we just have something that stays constant, like Donatella Versace? So upon further research and upon more reports that came out, it makes sense that Prada is trying or has acquired Versace, seeing as how the new creative director has just been announced. And it is 41-year-old Dario Vitale, who has held a position at Miu Miu since 2010, in which that time the brand has had a huge rise in success, including a 93% rise in retail sales in 2024 alone. He has also worked for D Squared and Bottega Veneta. It's sad. I'm happy for him. Y'all could have picked another woman. Y'all could have picked another woman. Me personally, I don't think no other man but the late great Gianni Versace should be allowed to be the creative director of that house. That's just my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. We have seen a woman carry it on her back for the last almost 3 decades. Give it to another woman. But I'm excited to see what Dario Vitale brings. Now, both parties gave statements to BOF. Let me pull that up here. Which, again, something about it just doesn't feel right. So this is the statement that was released to BOF by the new creative director, Dario Vitale. He says, and I quote, "The House of Versace has a unique heritage that has spanned decades and has shaped the history of fashion. I want to express my sincere thank you to Donatella for her trust in me and for her tireless dedication to the extraordinary brand that Versace is today." I thought it was I thought it was an appropriate statement. I thought it was respectful. He couldn't have said it any better, and I really hope that he realizes the opportunity that he's getting, which I'm sure he does. And I'm excited again to see what he brings. The fact that he came from Mumu, well, that's what it should be called. The fact that he came from Miu Miu, I don't know. It seems that the main focus is sales, sales, sales. And, a lot of people online, on social media, in everyday life, we don't want it. It's not always about the money. Yes, the money aspect is important because you're selling something, but we want to get back to real artistry. So I hope that's what he brings. Now, Donatella Versace said this. Versace, excuse me. And this is to BOF, and I quote, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to carry on my brother Gianni's legacy. He was the true genius, but I hope I have some of his spirit and tenacity, which you most certainly do. She goes on to say, excuse me, in my new role as Chief Brand Ambassador, I will remain Versace's most passionate supporter. Versace is in my DNA and always in my heart." I loved what she said, but I something about this feels like they pressed her for this. It doesn't seem like she was ready to go. I didn't realize, now I'm not going to call out her age, but she is a woman of a particular age. I didn't realize that she was that high up in age. So it could be that she's ready to pass the baton on. She's been doing it for 27 years. Why not give somebody else a chance? But it's something about it just doesn't seem like this is really what she wanted to do. It's just not giving that for me. But anyway, we wish Donatella the best in her new, what is the word I'm looking for? Y'all know I hit the weed before I got on here. In her new appointment at the house. And we also wish Dario Vitale huge congratulations and the best. And I can't wait to see the collection. Now, he's set to officially take the appointment as soon as April 1st, reports are saying. So, listen, again, huge congratulations to the both of them, and we wish Donatella the best and Mr. Vitale. Now, I got a lot of cigarette for this next story, honey. Even though I'm in my vintage La Perla and Bob Mackie, I will be okay if there's a window open. Listen, some people smoke cigarettes. Some people steal somebody else's man. People around the world, man, it's your pick. You know what I mean? Take it. Listen, whatever your vice in life is, everything in moderation, bitch. Okay? So listen. Perhaps my least favorite collection of the Paris Fashion Week has to go to Demna over there at Balenciaga. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's not giving. It hasn't been given for quite some time now. And I will say this, I was a fan at first. I was a fan at first. I was loving how he was mixing up the streetwear. I was loving how he was, incorporating it with couture. He brought the couture back to Balenciaga. I was like, okay, we're stepping in the right direction. And then that scandal happened, and it was like a halt on everything. There's been no progression. None. None. My arms look so skinny in this, honey. Yes. And for the price points, honey, I could go down to the Goodwill and make this, and I have before. You can go look at my Instagram and see some of the looks and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely inspired by Balenciaga. Oh, of course. But I'm not paying $1,400 for it. So after this, and listen, I am not the only one who said this. The internet was reading Demna Gvasalia for filth. Okay? For filth. Okay? One more time. For filth. Okay? It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. And if you think about the history of the House of Balenciaga, it was trend setting. It was history making. Like, why are we still stuck in this streetwear? And then y'all turn to a black curated brand like Off-White and go, oh well, streetwear is dead. But Balenciaga is still around? Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break with this. And the whole scandal with the child, and all of that, it didn't help any. It didn't help any. I'm gonna keep it real, it didn't. And his response to it and the PR statement behind it, it didn't really help any. Every time I see something about Balenciaga, the comment section is filled with pedo, 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 pedo. So I don't know. And then to have all of that and to still be accepted back and not be canceled and to give this, well, honey, as if Donatella Versace stepping down from her brand wasn't enough to rattle all the fashion boys and girls like bobblehead dolls on the front of a Chevy Caprice. Demna is going to Gucci. Demna Gvasalia, former creative director of Balenciaga, is going to Gucci. Here's my thing. When it comes to the creative directors, why do you constantly recycle the same old white men? This is no disrespect to Demna, but Jesus Christ, there were so many other people. I have heard people screaming they wanted to see Martini Rose at Gucci. Not only black, but also a woman would have been historical. But I talked about this last week or earlier this week in my stories, and I said, why not motherfucking Laquan Smith? Gucci makes clothes, to me, for the lady of the night. And who understands the nighttime more than Laquan Smith? Now, I don't know if Laquan Smith, maybe they asked him and he turned it down. I doubt it. You know, and seeing as how a lot of Gucci's ready to wear, the idea started with, you know, dare I say it, Dapper Dan from Harlem, honey. One of the original 80s black dandies, honey. Hello? Are you on the air? Why not get another young black talent from New York and really revolutionize the brand in a different way? Why do y'all keep pulling from these same pools of talent? And that's not to say because they're white, they're any less talented. Although sometimes they are. But damn, give somebody else a chance. Look at what it's doing over at Ferragamo with Maximilian Davis. Look at what it's doing at Balmain. Olivier Ronstein has been at Balmain for almost 15 fucking years and has been killing it. Fashion, the big money pockets of fashion, do better. Because I guarantee, now, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will apologize upon my sight of the first collection. But until then, honey, I'm not only confused, but I am convinced that this ain't gonna be what y'all think it's gonna be. I am very shocked by this. Upon the announcement, let me pull up my notes. Upon the announcement, earlier this week, Kering, which owns the luxury fashion house, has been experiencing a share of stock plunges of 11%. But the Gucci CEO, Stefano Cantino, had this to say about the new appointment of Demna helming the House of Gucci in a statement to BOF. Now let me pull this up for you. Demna is able to interpret contemporary culture and define what is luxury today for a young generation and the future. His vision for Gucci, now this is where it gets funny, his vision for Gucci is not going to be anything that has been done for Balenciaga. His intention is to do something that is right for Gucci. Listen, they know more than I do, so I hope they're right. I hope they're right. I don't know why they got rid of Sabato de Sorno. I never even got to talk about that. Everybody wants instant gratification. It doesn't happen that way. Lightning strikes when it wants to. It's not on call. We need more creatives at the helm of some of these luxury fashion houses because a lot of them are surviving on name alone, and it's not going to cut it, especially when there's a whole lot of people who ain't even going to be able to buy your shit. Hello? Again, are we on the air? Let's move on. So I stumbled across this video. I stumbled across this video on Instagram, and it got me to thinking. It really got me to thinking. Let's just take a look. Hold on, wait a minute. Why can I not get the sound? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to pull it up on something else because I'm not getting the sound here. Technical difficulties. Now I had it. I have. You see how I've been rolling? It's only 24 minutes. The bitch been rolling, but I'm gonna have to pull it up over here on Instagram. I will say that doing it, not having to write notes and doing everything on my tablet, kind of like using it as a laptop, which it's not. Until I can get the proper equipment. Listen, it's a lot easier doing it this way. I don't know why I didn't do it that way earlier. You know, you get so anxiety ridden about trying new things, you just stay stagnant. So I got to keep pushing forward into the future, bitch. And that's what I'm trying to tell these brands, okay? But anyway, take a look at this video.
It's one thing that Pretty Little Things rebrand is showing you is that people treat black culture like a costume, like a trend, or like a phase. Oh, this is something fun to do when I'm in college and I'm urban and I'm down. But then when you grow up or you meet a man and you want a family, you get back to your respectable attire, wear culture. Now terms like modest clothing or professional chic are in style, and that in itself is a microaggression. It's not just the culture, it's the nails. You know, everybody had the long clickety clack clack clacks, but now we're into almond chic and professional. The booties. Everybody wanted a big old booty or a BBL so they could look like the traditional or stereotypical black woman. Now they're getting those taken out, and heroin chic is back in style, being super, super skinny. Big lips. People are talking about getting their filler dissolved so they can have the natural looking lips. Yeah, it was a phase. It was something y'all had fun with, experimented with, and tried on and profited off of. But now y'all giving it back, and it's back to being ghetto or classless. I don't care about that. Do what you do. But I do care about the fact that people invalidated black women's opinion on the topic for so long, and we see it playing out in real life.
So listen, I agreed with her in some statements, but then I really sat back and thought about it, and I was like, well, who do we have to blame for that? It's all in what you hype up. Because listen, yesterday I watched Boomerang yesterday, and us as black women, we're not. And I hate to say this because I hate this phrase, but we are not a monolith. So we did have the buttoned up, classy girls. We did have that in Halle Berry, Robin Gibbons, Nia Long. They weren't out there Uncle Lukeing it up. And if they were smart enough not to do it on the camera. Hello. I mean, again, it's all in what you push out, and what the majority of the black community has been pushing out about women is sexual liberation. But at times that sexual liberation did come across a little skanka-dunk-dunk-dunk. It does. Some of it does. Now, I'm not going to sit here in front. Now, I've had my ass out on Instagram. Y'all know this. Honey, I redid a whole picture of Naomi Campbell laid out across my, my nice rug with magazines splattered everywhere with the aerial view of me butt ass naked laid across. I have, but I said it in my stories earlier this week. There was a girl talking about, she was tired of, they were talking about Meg Thee Stallion with the nipple covers at the Vanity Fair Oscar party, and that black women need to cover up. And I'm like, well, there is plenty of black women who have been buttoned up and still seductive and still sensual and still sexy. But that's not who y'all highlight. Y'all highlight the Meg Thee Stallions. Y'all highlight the Glorrillas. Then y'all highlight the white girls that get in there and act like they straight off of Normandy and Third, like Bad Baby. Y'all highlight these women. The men do and the women do. Oh, y'all just hating on her because y'all couldn't afford to get that body. And remember all of that? What happened to all of that? So, fashion is moving in a new direction. We're under a new administration. The girls are starting to be a little bit more covered up. But I don't think it's because they're bowing to the knee of this new conservative white Christian nationalist agenda that's being pushed. I think they are covering up in protest to that. In protest to that racist, red belly white right wing patriarchy. I think it's a protest. Like, no, you're not going to have access to our bodies. You're not even going to be able to look at me while I'm walking down the street. You're not going to see nothing. I think it's more so that, again, going back to the running theme of all of Fashion Month this past month, when it came to not dressing, women's style, or women's style not being centered around the male gaze. So, yes, but in the same breath, she is right about other, and that means non-black, coming over and capitalizing on our look, on our aesthetic, a certain part of our community's aesthetic, capitalizing on it and throwing it away when they feel like it. That definitely is happening, because Pretty Little Thing, you go on Pretty Little Thing, and it looks like a garage sale from Trix and Ronnie from Players Club. And now all of a sudden it's very Hailey Bieber. It's very, Misha Barton meets, Devil Wears Prada. It's definitely giving that. I haven't been on Pretty Little Thing since COVID time. But so I went on there and checked it out, and it definitely has made a shift. But it's not just Pretty Little Thing. It's hell. Even the Kardashians, which leads us into our next story. Now, Kim. I have to say, I'm really, really disappointed. I'm really disappointed at how tone deaf you're pretending to be. I'm really disappointed that you did have a lot of us in the black community over here going with your philanthropy, with releasing the black men from prison. And, I'm trying to be like my dad with the racial inequality, the late Robert Kardashian Esquire. You have publicly, and rightfully so, gave your ex-husband Kanye slaps on the wrist, and in some cases allegedly denied him access to his children for his anti-Semitic remarks, yet still you are on the cover of Perfect magazine with a Tesla robot. I have taken all of her pictures down in my house. You all know I was a huge Kim K fan. From where she started to where she is. But now I'm starting to realize, Kim, that you're willing to do it at any cost. And that doesn't sit right with me. This Elon Musk, really? This is the same man that is allegedly stealing money from organizations that help the less fortunate. Isn't that what your platform is supposed to be about? She is literally, look at this. She is literally all over the Tesla, the Cybertruck. What are you doing, girl? Very disappointing. Very disappointing. It's very tone deaf. This man did a full Nazi salute. And let me tell you something. Please, if this ever makes it to Kim, or somebody else calls her on it and it makes it to her and she gives the excuse, well, it was in print long before. I did it long before. Kim, you have the power in the fashion world now to stop a whole magazine from coming out. That could potentially ruin your image. You have that power, Kim. Or at least to have them edit it out and digitize something else in there. Your children are black. Your nieces and nephews, aside from Courtney's, are all black. Your ex-husband and all of your exes are black. The women that you benefited from are black. Your closest friends, Lala Anthony, Sierra Wilson, Serena Williams, are black. And you decide to sit your minority adjacent ass on the cover of a magazine, posted up next, quite seductively, might I add, next to a product that is being sold by a fascist, bigoted, racist, wannabe dictator and welfare ghetto ass baby daddy from South Africa. Really, girl? I never thought the day would come when I would have to read you, but we're here now. I respect the hustle. Oh, excuse me. My mouth gets a little watery when I got to read somebody. I respect the hustle. We appreciate all the looks that we've been inspired by over these years. But quite frankly, I think I'm going to have to be done with you, Kim. Because if I don't stand for what's right, then I'll fall for anything. And this is some bullshit. This is some real pure tea bullshit. Anyway. The spirit of haughtiness. The spirit of greed. How much did you get paid to hump all over that Tesla for that magazine, Kim? How much more money do you need, girl? Do better. Because right now, I'm done with it. I've unfollowed her from Instagram. And listen, I really liked Kim. I really did. But girl, I can't rock with you on this. This is some bullshit. You know what? You're not that far up in the Hollywood Hills that you don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, I'll be back in a few days, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Ciao.